Since 1980, my man, since 1980, one man has sold more than 611 million acres of land on the moon to over 6 million customers at around $20 an acre. He says 3 former American presidents are on his customer list. He has earned $12 million, and legally, he may own nothing at all. And the first time this idea finally stood in front of a judge, it was not even in America. 1980. Dennis Hope is freshly divorced and nearly broke. He looks out of his window, sees the moon, and does not see romance. He sees real estate. In a public library, he finds the Outer Space Treaty of 1967. Article 2 says, "No nation may claim the moon." Hope reads it twice. Nations. The treaty only mentions nations, not companies, not individuals, not one divorced man from California with an empty bank account. So Hope writes a declaration of ownership for the moon and 8 other planetary bodies and files it at a local government office after several attempts. Then he mails copies to the United Nations and the Soviet Union with a note, "Object," or "The moon is mine." Neither ever answered. In Dennis Hope's mind, that silence was a signature. Now all he had to do was sell. He starts in bars, deeds folded in his coat pocket. The pitch is 5 words long. "I sell the moon." An acre costs about $20. The certificate looks official. Parcel number, coordinates, a seal. He picks each customer's plot by closing his eyes and pointing at a map of the moon. People love it. They keep coming back. By 1995, the side hustle pays more than his job. He quits, trademarks the name Lunar Embassy, and opens an online moon shop. Business explodes. At the peak, Hope claims 1,500 sales a day. Premium plots near the Apollo landing sites go for $49.99. The catalog grows. Mars, Venus, Mercury. 20 moon acres for $600. And one item nobody has bought, all of Pluto, for $250,000. In 2004, he founds his own galactic government. A constitution, a congress, a currency, even a patent office, and a clause. 10% of all future mining profits belong to it. Tom Cruise owns a plot, he says. So do John Travolta, Nicole Kidman, and 3 former presidents. Bought through their aides, he says. His youngest customer was a newborn in Germany. His oldest, 97. 1,800 corporations bought too, he says. Say it twice, he says. Because every number in this story comes from the man selling the deeds. But before any court could speak, one fact ruins the romance. Dennis Hope was not even the first man to claim the moon. 1936, a Pittsburgh man named A. Dean Lindsay sends a notary a deed claiming every object in outer space. It was not his first purchase. Lindsay had already claimed the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific. People did not laugh. They mailed him offers, asking to buy planets from him. 1948, Chicago PR man James Thomas Mangan proclaims the nation of celestial space. All of it, one country. He registers it with the Cook County Recorder on New Year's Day, 1949. 1953, a Chilean lawyer, Gennaro Gallardo Vera, has the moon notarized as his personal property. And one German family, the Jurgens, insists the moon has been theirs since 1756, a gift from Frederick the Great, inherited by the youngest son ever since. 4 claims, 1 pattern, a paper, a stamp, a straight face, and no one with the power to say no. For 70 years, not a single judge ever ruled on any of it. Then, in Beijing, somebody finally asked one. October 2005, a company opens in Beijing calling itself the Lunar Embassy to China. Its CEO, Li Jie, sells Moonland Hope's franchise idea, Chinese market. 3 days, 49 acres, 34 customers. Then the authorities knock. On October 28th, Beijing suspends the company's business license, days after it opened. Li Jie does something Dennis Hope never had to do. He goes to court as the plaintiff. His argument: no law in China forbids selling land on the moon. Technically, he is right. There is no statute about moon real estate. There never had been, anywhere. The Haidian District Court rules against him anyway. He appeals. The case rises to the Beijing First Intermediate People's Court and becomes the first real verdict on owning the moon. The court reaches for the same treaty Dennis Hope built his empire on, the Outer Space Treaty, which China signed in 1983, and it reads Article 2 very differently. The judges rule: if no state may appropriate the moon, then no citizen may either. Because every private title needs a state behind it to exist at all. The loophole was never a loophole. It was a misreading, waiting 25 years for a courtroom. Li Jie lost. But by then the idea had already escaped the moon entirely. Someone had claimed the sun. Vigo, Spain, November 2010. Maria Angelis Duran walks into a notary's office and registers the sun. All of it. In her name. Her legal logic is word for word Dennis Hope's. The treaty binds countries. She is not a country. The notary stamps it. In Spain, in 2010, there was no form for refusing the sun. By 2013, she is selling sunshine on eBay, €1 per square meter, delivered as a certificate of acquisition. eBay shuts her account down, suspecting fraud. Her response is very Spanish and very modern. She sues eBay for €10,000, breach of contract. A Madrid court lets the lawsuit proceed. Note the irony. The courts will hear a case about selling the sun, just never one confirming she owns it. Meanwhile, in America, Gregory Nemitz claims asteroid Eros. When NASA lands a probe there in 2001, he invoices them $20 for parking. NASA declines to pay. The courts toss his case. No legal standing. The parking ticket goes unpaid. Rats, corpses, pants, asteroids. Courts will hear anything. Owning the sky is where they draw the line. Every claim fails the same way. So why are real space lawyers suddenly nervous about this exact question? Here is what the law actually says. The Outer Space Treaty, 1967, ratified by over 100 nations. Space belongs to no one. It is the province of all mankind. Didion. In 1979, the UN tried to close Hope's gap explicitly. The Moon Agreement bans private ownership too. Only 18 small nations ever signed. Every spacefaring power refused. The president of the International Institute of Space Law puts it flatly. Buying these pieces of paper gives you no right to the moon whatsoever. Because property is not a paper. It is a promise that somewhere a court will defend your claim. No court, no property. And that is why the question is back. Lunar mining missions are planned, landing sites are contested, and trillions in resources are waiting, with no property law in sight. Dennis Hope is still selling. 6 million customers hold certificates worth what every judge has said. Nothing, except a very good story. Maybe that was the real product all along. not land. The feeling, for $20, that a piece of the night sky answers to your name. The moon survived every man who claimed it. Next time, a man builds his company's biggest client, and the company decides it never needed him at all.